limiting beliefs in our lives. And to help us break down that conversation is Sianto Kekayaya. Oof, that's not an easy one. And she is a life coach. Sianto, welcome.
Thank you very much, Nelima.
Right. You know, I like to call myself, I don't know, a Maasai by socialization. Naturalization, because I have grown up there.
All right, so interesting.
Sianto Kekayaya, but I've never had Kekayaya. That is a new one.
Yes, it's from Maasai land.
Okay. So, and intentional living.
Yes.
You know, there are very many times, now the year is about to end. And when the new year begins, we write resolutions.
Yes.
Because we are hoping to achieve more.
Yes.
So is that part of being intentional?
Yes. It is part of being intentional because it actually starts with you being a leader of your life. So even before 2023 starts, you need to have a sitting with yourself, have a sitting with myself, and actually just draft how do I want my 2023 to look like, or even how do I want my next 5 years to look like, or even the next 10 years. So it's a time of reflection on what really we want and coming up with a strategy on how we are going to get there, and also just having tools.
Right.
Yeah, in terms of setting goals and also installing habits that will enable you to reach there, because you might have a goal, but if you've not installed a habit, then it will be very hard for you to reach there.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, achieving a goal. There's so much that people are dealing with in life. There's the high cost of living. We're covering stories every single day in our newsroom about high cost of living. So it's harder for people just to do anything new.
Yeah.
So maybe they just feel exhausted. Could be the financial, could be emotional.
Yeah.
So how does someone then just get to begin to live intentionally?
Yes. How you begin is actually by looking at 8 facets of your life.
Right.
Because for you to have an intentional life, you have to be able to tap into all those areas. So most of us, we actually focus on maybe just the work aspect of it or the financial part of it. But for us to have that intentional living and for us to be able to be happy, to feel fulfilled, for us to be able really to achieve success in our lives, we have to tap into all those areas. So maybe I can just share the 8 areas that we need to look at. And it starts with spirituality. You also have to look at your health, your emotions, that is the mind and soul. You also have to look at your social connection. You also have to look at fun and adventure. How are you going to really release? That's just what you're talking about.
All work and no play.
Yes, you must have a strategy for all that. So really it's about looking at all those aspects of your life, and then with that, and you put up the habits that we need, then you'll be able to experience joy, you'll be able to experience success, you'll be able to really feel happy. As much as really times are hard, but if you have a plan and you have a ritual, then absolutely you'll be able to achieve that.
Okay, and I know a lot of times people say that growing up is a trap, and that no one told us it's going to be this difficult. And even the way we look at success, the society's measure of success then is financial stability. But then there's more.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah. So now, what normally happens is that it is how the society has brought us up, from the childhood, from the institutions we've gone through, and even up to the work level. So we really grow with a very robotic kind of mindset, whereby we know it is school after school, work after work. You get married also.
Right.
But there's so much to life that is actually limiting ourselves. Yeah. So how do you then ensure that you're not limited? It's by tapping into those 8 facets of your life. So for example, you can say that in my health, I want to maybe lose 75 kilos. So how do you go about that? So that is your want. That's what you want. So how do you do about that? So the plan is you get a habit.
So wanting is the first step. At least you've identified what exactly it is that could be functional. But that's not the only thing.
No.
So you have to put it to work.
Yes. So once you identify the goal, then now you come up with a habit. Because yes, you want to lose 75 kilos, but how are you going to get there? So you might say, okay, I'll start going to the gym 3 times a week, I'll start eating healthy, or maybe I'll be able to look for an expert, because it's always good to tap into the expertise of whatever you want to transform your life with.
Right.
So you might look for an expert in the health sector. You can go to a gym and enroll there, and then you start going to the gym. It actually also requires discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
And you talk about discipline, and discipline is something that is hard to achieve.
Yeah.
You know that throughout our lives, say in school, then there was the bell.
Yes.
That will tell you, no, it's time for lunch, then it's time for... But now when you get out here and you have to manage even just time for yourself, then just acquiring the discipline for it to effect change.
Yeah.
How does someone who is very indisciplined get to be disciplined?
Yeah. Actually, I like the way you've mentioned about, you know, maybe when we're in school, the ringing of the bell and all that. Those are habits.
We had a bell out here.
Those are habits that institutions have so that we are able to be disciplined. So now that we are out of that kind of system, we have to have a system for our own self. You must have rituals, you must have habits. Like, for example, if you really want to grow personally in terms of your mental strength, what do you have to do? Maybe you can say, okay, I'll start reading a book in a month, so I can read one page in a week. Or one page in a day. So really, it's about putting systems in your life. The other thing also you can do about self-discipline is strengthening your willpower, because it's a muscle. It has to be strengthened.
Wow.
And
that has to be exercised.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not an easy thing, but it is actually achievable. So what I was talking about intentional living is when I like using the metaphor of a GPS.
Okay.
Yeah, whereby you want to go to a particular destination. What do you need to do? You have to
put in your location.
You put where you want to go. So you look at, we compare two people. Someone who uses a GPS to go to a certain place, and then another person who just decides to drive and go. So for example, if both of them decide to go to Kajiado, and this person has put Kajiado as a destination. So with that, they'll be able to know how long it's going to take them so that they prepare for the journey. Yeah. So what that means is that you are aware of what is needed for you to achieve your goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, and we're talking about all these facets of life that you've got to put in the work. So say spirituality.
Yeah.
Then what does spirituality exactly mean? Is it only for Christians, or what exactly does it mean?
Yeah, that's normally a very sensitive aspect to talk about, but it depends now on what do you subscribe to.
Right.
Like, are you a Christian? Then that's what you subscribe to in terms of your spirituality. So it's actually tapping into what you subscribe to as an individual. For me, I'm a Christian. Yeah, for me, I'm a Christian. So I tap into the higher power of God. So life is hard, and we cannot really live life without such kind of power, such kind of intervention. So that's why you have to tap into that by reading the Bible. You make it a ritual. Like for me, I have a ritual in the morning. I read the Bible, at least a verse. I meditate. I go through devotion so that I tap into that power that is available for us. Okay. And then in terms of, I'm just talking about the 8 facets of life, what you can do.
Sure.
You can also have a ritual in terms of exercise. I know we are very busy, but you have to schedule your life.
Can squeeze in some few minutes.
Yes, you have to. You'll get, even if it's 20 minutes.
True.
Yeah, you can put some time there, and then you'll say, yes, at least I'm really doing something in terms of my health. And also when it comes to your finances, you ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? Where do I want to go in terms of my finances? So you remove all limitations, and you say, maybe I want to be a millionaire in the next maybe 3 years. So what plans do you have to get there? So what we are saying is that, yes, we have a vision, we have a destination, but we really have to sit down and come up with those habits that will take us there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the 8 facets you're talking about,
yeah,
they could be overwhelming for someone who's trying to change their lives.
Yeah.
So then, is there a particular order of what to begin with? Because if you're told now being intentional, then I come to Sianto as a life coach, and then she tells me these are the 8 facets. So I could feel overwhelmed. Where should I start? Or should I start with others, grow them, then come back for the health and the mental? So how do you go about it?
Yeah. There's something we call a habit stacking,
right,
whereby you come up with a habit, you start one habit, and then you keep on adding another habit that goes along with that. Like, for example, you wake up in the morning, you can decide to take a cup of tea. So while at it, maybe it's a herbal tea you're taking, it's a health thing, yeah? Maybe it's a herbal tea or something.
Or green tea.
Or green tea. So you take that. So while you're while you're taking tea in the morning, you can say, okay, I can read a page of a book. So it's called habit stacking.
Okay.
You add something that is close to the one that you're already doing, so it becomes easier. So the danger of not covering all of them is that you'll find that at some point you're not happy. You feel overwhelmed when you don't cover the 8 facets of life.
Right.
Yes. Actually, you feel like there's something lacking. So you might come here and you're working the whole day and you don't have time for your spirituality. You don't have time for your family. At the end of the day, you feel like I have not done something. Your feelings are going to give you a cue on what you've not done. That feeling is what actually directs you to the areas of your life that you've not managed to cover.
Right.
So we have to schedule time.
You have
for
to schedule
all those.
time. Okay, and we know that the comfort zone is safe. You know, when you have a job, take care of your needs.
Yes.
Maybe save up a little.
Yeah.
So whatever you used to mostly, it's comfortable.
Yes.
So turning that around just to say fulfill your purpose or feel more, then how do people get out of their comfort zone?
Okay, I can say that some people, the desire just comes. Sometimes that desire just comes, maybe because of an experience that you've had. Yeah, so you feel like I want to do more, I want to grow, I want to become this better version of myself. So if that desire is innate, like it has just developed maybe because of something that has happened to you, then you'll be able to set up the habits. But if really it is not there, you need a coach.
Okay.
Yeah, because a coach will be able to help you, to give you an insight or what is available on the other side. You'll be able to see that really stretching yourself is possible, and we have that potential. So what I normally tell my clients is that when you limit yourself, when you don't allow yourself to stretch, then how do you know that you're able to become more? There's so much on the other side. So I normally tell my clients that really I'll help you to take the leap to go to the other side, because it can take time if you use maybe your own methods to reach there. But with a coach and the tools that a coach has, the leap will be very fast. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course now consulting a life coach, there was always the question of expense. Is it expensive?
Yeah.
What are the cost implications?
Okay. Now, it's just, I tell my clients to look at it this way. When you want to construct a house, you need an architect, you need a constructor, and people are willing to pay for such. So what about your life? Because even for you to build that house, your life should come first. So I can say that it's not cheap, but it is affordable. And it's a good investment for yourself. You can't, even if you do the mathematics, it can never be equal. Whatever you're going to get after the sessions is actually more, and it's going to better your life. Yes.
So it's actually affordable, and since it is about you as a person, then it should be a priority.
It should be. Actually, for people to grow, for you to be able to move from your comfort zone to your growth zone, you have to really be able to stretch yourself. You have to be able to look for a coach to be able to help you tap into that. Because you'll see that maybe your friend has really grown and you wonder why. That is person who is intentional about their life. They go and look for a coach, and they're able to propel their lives further. Even for me, I've had so many coaches.
So even a coach needs a coach.
Oh, a coach needs a coach. Yeah.
And you talked about us looking at, say, our friends. Then there is the issue of comparison. Sometimes we can't help it, but just compare ourselves, you know, with our siblings, colleagues, and they could be, from our eyes, they could be living a better life. It looks more fulfilled from where we sit.
Yeah.
So there is the temptation of doing exactly what they do.
Yeah. Okay, now comparison is not, I can say that sometimes it's not really bad. If I spoke about it the other time, if you're modeling someone who is ahead of you in terms of your journey, maybe as a mentor.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe you have to look at exactly what are they doing, how is their thought process. So it is okay. But if really now your comparison brings that kind of, you know, jealousy in you or envy, and you want to do exactly what that person is doing, and your talent is not there. So what if, and actually this is true, you might want to be that person, but you're more. What you're supposed to do is more. What your purpose is more than...
It's greater.
More than what that person is doing. So it's just about discovering your purpose and going after it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there are very many people who go through life and they seem not to feel fulfilled. Maybe a good example would be the American artist Avicii, who committed suicide. And the family kept talking about how he always felt like he was searching for answers in life. You know, he was very successful. His music with billions of views across YouTube. So coming from a person like this, because for a lot of people, they think if you don't have any financial trouble, then you should not be having any trouble at all.
Yeah.
But this is a person who had been going through life, but didn't seem to find the answer.
Yeah.
So could then this explain the lack of all these facets in life?
Yeah. You know, as a human being, we have 6 needs. The need to grow, the need for uncertainty, the need for significance, the need, you have that need to feel important. You have that need of comfort. That is, now you have basic needs. So if you're not able to tap into all that, maybe for him it was just tapping the financial part and the fame part. What if he was lacking the family support? Yeah. What if he was lacking the self-love or the self-esteem that is needed? Because you might find that, yes, he's an artist, he's a public figure, but deep down, there is a very big hole that has not been filled by love from family, by love from friends. So it is really being able to cover all the 6 human needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And achieving being intentional. So now that you put in the actions, then there's need for accountability. How does someone make sure then that they're being accountable? If they said 6 a.m., as soon as the alarm goes off, then I'm up on my feet, I'm wearing my running shoes, and I'm out of the house.
Yeah.
So how does someone get to be accountable?
Yeah. First of all, it starts with the why. Why did you make that decision that you want to start running? Because it's always easy to tap to your why, and it gives you the motivation that you need to do that particular action. So, for example, if it's about you want to run, why did you start that? Could it be that maybe your blood pressure is high, so your doctor has told you that you need to run? So with that, you always go back to that, okay, I need to run because of my health issues, yeah? But sometimes it doesn't really have to be something bad. It has to be something that, okay, I want to run because I want to live long. Yeah, I want to look good. So it starts with the why. Yeah.
Okay. So, and could someone having say an accountability partner, could it work as well?
Yeah, it does help. And it's always good to tell people about your plans. Yeah, someone who can be an accountability partner. You tell them, okay, this is the decision that I've made, these are the plans that I have, and then they'll be able to keep in touch with you. And the other way to do it is by having a mentor. Yeah, if, for example, you've made a decision that you are starting this business, so who is going to keep check on what you're supposed to do? It is your mentor that you have to, maybe they can be calling you once in a week. You are supposed to do ABCD, so where have you reached with the action taking? So it is important to have that. But most importantly, it is about you. It has to be that you have really made that decision and you want it so bad, the desire is there, and you have to do anything that you need to do for you to reach there. So I normally say that we have to be able to, like for example now, the top 5% people, those are the extraordinary people. It doesn't mean that Nelima, you cannot be extraordinary,
True.
but you just have to do more. But are we willing to do more? Are we willing to
That's
go
the
through
big
the
question.
pain?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And of course, writing a vision board is something that we're told to do from time to time. So how important is it in people just trying to be more intentional?
Yeah. So after you've covered the 8 facets of life, you've come up with the habits. Yeah. So it's always important to have a vision board whereby you're going to place the destination. Remember we spoke about the destination, where you want to go. If, for example, you want to lose 75 kilos, sorry, you are 75 and you want to use maybe to lose like 5 kilos. So how does the 70 kilos Nelima would look like? So you can print out a picture of someone who is toned and you place it on your vision board. Or, for example, you want to establish this big business. So what picture can you of your destination can you put on your vision board? So it's a good way of getting your motivation. So you can always have a look at it in the morning and say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is a lifestyle that I want to achieve. So I have to really take the action. I have to wake up in the morning if it's reading. I have to go and run if it's about health. I have to be able to really go through the pain of starting a business if this is what I want. So it helps you to motivate you and also to remind you of where your destination is.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, we have to talk about the COVID-19 and the challenges that it has brought before we take our break. Then for a lot of people, it set a lot of people back. There are many cases of anxiety. There's so many illnesses, especially mental illnesses, that have now been exposed. So during this time, then what's the place of intentional living?
Yeah. So that's a very good question, because intentional living means that you need to have a recovery system in your life. Because this is life, there are obstacles, there are challenges, these are aspects that just happen without plan, the uncertainty part of life. So you have to be able to know yourself. How do I release that pressure?
Right.
Yeah. Does, for example, taking a walk in the forest help me? Does maybe swimming help me? Does talking to a friend help me? Or do I need just a massage and then I'll be able to release the pressure? So being able to know your recovery system is really important, because if you don't do that, then you'll become like a balloon. Yeah, you're so full such that when someone just pricks you and you just burst. Yeah, so that is what we normally advise our clients to do. Look for your recovery system, and then also listen to your feelings. Just being able to feel, yeah, how you feel, and being able to know what is the cue, what is my feeling telling me. Like for me, sometimes when I've stayed without taking action, there's a feeling that I normally feel. So I know, okay, now I need to do something.
Time to go back.
So I just stand up and I do what I'm supposed to do. And if I do that, then that feeling disappears.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we do have to take a very short break. We are talking about intentional living right here on The Morning Drift. And Sianto says, it's not easy, but it is surely achievable. When we come back, we'll be looking at a slightly different conversation. We're looking at overcoming limiting beliefs. But let's keep the conversation going across all our social media platforms. Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Don't go too far.
The Healing Jesus campaign is coming to Kenya. Join evangelist Dag Heward-Mills as he preaches the gospel of salvation with miracles, signs and wonders. The campaign will be held in 2 towns, Thika on the 29th of November to the 1st of December, and Nyeri from the 2nd to 4th of December at 4 p.m. each night. There will also be a dynamic gathering for pastors dubbed Identifying Dangerous Enemies Conference during the mornings of the Thika campaign from the 29th of November to the 1st of December. In addition, there will be a pastors conference on the 3rd of December, which is the second day of the Nyeri campaign. For more information and registration, please call the numbers on the screen. +254 792 123 789 or +254 724 049 619. You can also visit the website ideckenya.org. Kenya will never be the same again after this encounter with the Anointed and His anointing through the Healing Jesus campaign. We will see you there.
To know one's rights, often it is an adventure, especially when the opponent seems stronger.
Mradi huu uliingia kwa kishindo maeneo yetu ya Lamu ili kufyeka maeneo na makaazi ya watu.
We want to show you what ordinary people can achieve.
Kenya is now a strong democracy with the independent judiciary.
Our journey to justice.
Hapa kazi tu inaendelea kuwasaka na kuwatambua wale ambao wanafanya kazi extraordinary na zile kazi za kujituma.
Biashara yote unaambiangwa, as long as you have a plan, you can do it. Our service is about kufurahisha the customer.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni hapa kazi tu.
And welcome back. This is The Morning Drift. Nancy Nalima here. And in our conversation this morning, we have been talking about intentional living, but we want to switch gears and now talk about overcoming limiting beliefs. My guest here in studio is Sianto Kekayaya, and we are talking about overcoming limiting beliefs. So switching gears just a little bit, Sianto. Then limiting beliefs.
Yes.
When the first thing that comes to my mind is the thoughts of being not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the things that go through my mind from time to time.
Yeah.
So is this what we're talking about, the limiting beliefs?
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, limiting beliefs can be defined as just or your opinions or views about yourself or your views you have about the world, of which they are facts according to you or they are truths according to you. But it's not entirely, it's not really the entire view about life. It could just be a map of the territory, but not really what life has in totality. Yes.
Okay, so say in the setting of our society today, well, what are some of the limiting beliefs that we have?
Yeah, like for example, we can discuss about the weight issue. Someone might say that I can't lose weight because in our family all of us are big. So that's already
a very common one.
Yes, that's a very common one. And also you can see it in our career whereby you say that I'm not able to perform in that role. You understand? So we limit ourselves, and what we believe about ourselves is actually the results that you're going to get. Because the belief system is actually the thoughts that are in your mind. So the thoughts affect your feelings affect your action, and your action affects your results.
Right.
So normally, it's also linked with intentional living, whereby you ask yourself, look at the 8 facets of life that we've spoken about. What are the results that are there? And are you happy with the results? Like for example, if you look at your bank account, are you happy with the health status of your bank account? If not,
the health status of the bank account.
Yes, the health status of your bank account.
Okay.
If not, then you don't really beat about the bush looking at where is the answer. Just go to your belief system about money. What do you tell yourself? What story are you telling yourself? Do you say that wealth is for some people, not me? Because if that is a belief that you have, no matter what you do, your account system will always be in red.
Okay, and just looking at this subject matter, then what we think about ourselves, as you say, the it informs a lot about how we see life. And socialization, how we have been socialized, how we've looked at things. Say in our families, girls do this and boys do that. So does that play a key role in who we become later in life?
Yes. So the beliefs, we normally pick them from various aspects. Like, for example, from childhood. We also pick the belief system from the institutions that you go to, the environment that you expose ourselves to, and also at workplace. So now it is very different. The beliefs acquisition when you are young is very different from belief acquisition when you are an adult. Because when you are young, you actually don't know any better. So what you're told, you take it in and you accept that. And you believe it. That is the belief. That is the truth. Yeah. So for children, they really don't have an option. And that's why as parents, we have to really be able to give them the right belief system by way of, what we do and also what we tell them.
Because they're going to learn from now what they see.
Yes, and they can't save it out. But now, the danger with that is that whatever you picked when you are young will still manifest to us when you are adults. So, and sometimes at that point, whatever was useful as a belief system then is no longer useful now. Like, for example, when you are young, you're told you're not supposed to speak maybe in front of maybe old people or people in authority. But you can imagine you are now in the workplace, you're maybe 25 years old and you're leading people who are 40 years old. So what happens to you? Will it be useful?
Not really.
It won't be useful. So there's some belief system we have to let go, and there's some of them we have to learn. We have to really take time to look at the results. Like, for example, if it's about money, what can I start telling myself so that I build a new belief system in myself, in my mental, in my mind. So, for example, I can be telling myself, I'm a millionaire, even if I don't have those millions in the account. Yes, because you know what happens.
How you see yourself.
Yes, you know what happens. Whatever belief you hold, it will push you to get those kind of results. There, I've told you, you start with the thought, it goes to the feelings, action, and then the result.
So it's very important what we tell ourselves, what we feed our minds.
Yes, we have to feed what is empowering, the kind of results that you want to see in our lives. Then we have to feed that to ourselves as our belief system. So, for example, you have to look at the 8 facets of life. What do you want to see in your, for example, in your spirituality? Nelima.
Oh, that is a direct question to
Yes.
Perhaps grow some more. There's a level that I see my parents. I'd love to get there.
So what you need to do, maybe you can start speaking that to yourself. So installing a belief takes time. It's not something that can just take 2 days or 1 week or 2 weeks. It actually takes around 28 days for you to install a new belief system. So what I tell my clients is that, yes, we have now identified the destination where we are going. So what mindset do we need to have so that we're able to get the results?
Right.
So they have to come up with that. You say, okay, in terms of my finances, I want to earn 1 million in a month. Okay, are you earning that right now? No. Okay, so what do we need to do? You say, maybe I need to do ABCD. So you say, okay, I have the capabilities to bring 1 million to my account. So those are affirmations.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to come up with affirmations in all the 8 facets of your life that will actually materialize the habits and the destination that you want to go.
Right, so even talking about the affirmations, I know some people when they start their day, then they put a podcast that is full of affirmations so they can get all that positive energy in.
Yeah.
So that is important, whatever we tell ourselves every single day.
Yeah. It is important because as human beings, okay, we have around 66,000 thoughts, and 78% of that is negative. So in default...
That's a lot.
Yes. So in default, as human beings, we are already in a negative space. Okay. So if we really don't affirm positivity in us, if we really don't affirm that we are millionaires, that we are good enough, that we can really excel, we can become extraordinary, we can do the habits that we're supposed to do, then we'll find that we are really not taking action. And it's not because, sometimes not because we don't want, it's just that it is the nature of a human being. We are already in a negative part. So the extraordinary human beings are the ones who are aware. They know that if I don't put myself in that space, if I don't really push myself, then I will not be extraordinary. And that's why we only have like 5% who are extraordinary. So we really have a lot of work to do. Yes, but it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And given our the communities that we come from, you know, they're majorly patriarchal, and it could affect how we see life, especially as women, because from some communities, then men are the leaders. So it could be harder to see ourselves as being at the top.
Yeah.
So then how do we unlearn it and just say that, yes, you're good enough, you've got what it takes, you're qualified. You, by merit, you could be there. So how do we unlearn some of the toxic traits that we have learned over the years?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And like the community that I come from, that is very prevalent, that women, you are not supposed to be in the marketplace. In terms of offices, you're supposed to bear children and just stay at home. But I thank my dad because he really, we didn't have an issue about gender. Right. A woman is also as capable as a man. So actually for me, when it comes to work, I don't look at gender, I look at capability. So if then you did not get that exposure when you're young, then how do you learn it? It's first of all by believing in yourself.
Right.
You've gone through school. Yeah, you are intelligent. You have the skills. So it really has to be you as Nelima working on yourself and telling yourself the right story. Yeah, that I'm okay, even if I'm a lady, I'm a woman, I can still be a CEO. How many CEOs do we have now?
So again, it has a lot to do again with being intentional.
Yes, it just has to be it has to be, what do you want? I want to be a CEO. So what are the qualities of a CEO? A, B, C, D. You speak that to yourself, and also you work hard in regards to getting the skills and the competency to be able to reach there. So it's just changing the mindset that those roles are not for men or those roles are not for women. It's for each and every person who has the competency to get them. So it is really having a different mindset when it comes to that. And that you can achieve by changing your belief system. Whatever you're told when you are young, now you are an adult. Whatever that was useful, now it's not useful. You have to change the story. Yeah. Okay. And also you can unlearn that by also looking at, for example, the women who are doing well. Yeah, that's what we call modeling in NLP. So you look at them, what are they doing? You can actually look forward to...
you can emulate that.
Yeah, you can look forward to, look for them and have a meet if they can allow you to meet with them. Just ask their story. Right. Yeah, you'll be able to really get answers there.
I think this is just what I needed before the year ends.
Yeah.
So that, I know people say don't claim 2023, but I think it's definitely my year.
Oh, it is. It should be.
Right. Yeah. And one important thing, of course, we talk about social media. Every morning we tell people what's happening, what's trending.
Yeah.
And Twitter is where a lot of Kenyans are known across the world. Kenyans on Twitter, very famous. And of course, it's from how they write back.
Yeah.
How they take on people across social media, even people from different countries. But one thing that comes from there as well is just the amount of hate as well. I know this has been a conversation in different places about the amount of hate that is projected because people can really be, what we call haters.
Yeah.
There can be a lot of hate across social media and on Kenyans on Twitter specifically. So does this say something about our belief system?
Now, it's actually has nothing to do with our belief system.
Okay.
I think it is just what it is by being in a society. You'll always have haters. You'll always have people who are going to judge you. But what I tell my clients is that, are you the man in the arena? Or those are spectators.
Those are
spectators. For you, you're in the arena. You're doing the job. You're getting muddy. You're sweating. sweat and blood. You're doing it. You're taking the action. So you're the man in the arena who should be applauded. No matter all this, judgment that is happening around you, the hatred. Provided you are in the arena, that's what I tell my clients. It's okay, whatever you're being told, but you know where you're going, and I expect such things to happen. Yeah.
And of course, now speaking of social media, it controls a lot of aspects of our lives, because then some of us have to work, and it's largely there. It is a way just for us to wind down, take a look at Instagram and Pinterest, any other place, just whatever suits a person. But from there as well, how we control it, how we use it, does it affect what we believe?
Yeah, of course, you can get beliefs, you can acquire beliefs from such kind of avenues like social media. Yeah, but you see now, if you're an adult and maybe you've seen a statement that is not useful to you, you make a replacement. Yeah, you say that, for example, when they say that, maybe they've said that your standards are not good enough, you tell yourself immediately that I am actually good enough. So if you're an adult, if that belief system that is being pushed to you is not supportive, then you have to make an immediate replacement of that and make it a useful belief system. So you have to be very aware of what is going around you, what you're seeing, what is being said. Because do you know a belief system can also be installed unconsciously? Yeah. Right. If someone says something to you, and it can just go to your unconscious mind, and you start acting based on that. Yeah. So you have to be aware. And if it's not supportive, you replace it immediately, because you can't control what people are saying, but you can control what you take in.
And how you react towards it as well.
Yes, and the meaning that you give to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You spoke about something very interesting, because sometimes subconsciously you can take in something.
Yeah.
And that takes me back to primary, nursery days.
Yeah.
And we know that how our education system has been very competitive, and there were teachers who'd call some people dumb, even you say stupid, just because they could not, they were below average in terms of performance. And this could go a long way into someone just believing, am I good enough? Maybe the maths and the sciences are not my thing.
Yeah, that's very true. And you find that whatever you're told, even in schools, by that teacher, it actually affects you when you are an adult. They get manifested, maybe in the work area or maybe in your social setting. So what we normally do is that I tell my clients, are you able to go back and find out, why do you feel like you're not good enough? Maybe someone spoke a word to you and it went, of course it was stored in your mind, but it's being manifested. Yeah, but sometimes it's not really easy to remember, because I've told you acquire these beliefs unconsciously, some of them. If you're not able to remember, it is still fine, because in coaching we look at the results. Where do you want to go? So yes, you're told you're not good enough, but you want to feel good enough. So what do we need to do? We have now to look at so many aspects of you. We have to look at your strengths. We have to do some, some test in terms of personality test or the strength test for us to be able to discover your strengths that you're not aware, so that it strengthens the feeling of you, feeling good enough about yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And these beliefs is part of, say you want to acquire more positive affirmations and believe more. Looking at people in society who have had some level of success, say Eliud Kipchoge, who's famously known for the quote, no human is limited. So is also exposing ourselves to the people who have had some level of success, could that now positively affect us as well?
Yes. Yeah, that one we actually call modeling, and it really helps a lot. I'm sure if other runners would just have an opportunity to sit with Eliud, he'll be able to tell them the kind of thinking that he has, the kind of habits that he has installed in his life for him to be able to be there. So what I normally tell my clients is that for some beliefs maybe you're not aware that you need to install, the only way you can be able to be aware is by sitting with someone who is ahead of you. Then you'll be able to pick, oh, this person has this type of a thought process. Then you just start practicing that. Because what I can tell you, Nelima, is that each and every one of us has a potential to become that extraordinary. Each and every one of us has the ability, you have the ability to learn. Maybe now we don't have the ability because we have not trained or we have not coached ourselves to have that ability, but we can acquire, we can learn. So we should not really feel limited by the current results that we are seeing. Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes, like you've said, it could be subconscious, a belief that is growing, maybe because of something that was said or an action that was done. So how then do you identify that there's some limiting beliefs around you?
The ones that are not?
If they are subconscious, then it could be hard to identify.
Yes.
So how then do you identify if the limiting beliefs, you don't really know them?
Yes, that's very, it's a good question. Remember what I told you, that we start with the thought process. We go to the feeling and the action and the result. So even if you are not aware of the belief system, but you can see the result in your life. Okay. Maybe you feel you're not good enough, but you don't know where it came from. You understand?
Right, right.
Yeah. So that's how you look. Actually, when it comes to the belief system, you look at the results in your life. If you're not having meaningful relationships, look at maybe what you're told or what you believe about yourself. What are you telling yourself? Am I not a good friend? Or even when it comes to dating, there are people who say, okay, marriage is not for me.
That is very common.
Yes, and when you go for dates, whatever you believe, the belief you hold, it has to come as a result. So if you say marriage is not for me, even if you go for dates, you can never reach to that aspect of marriage. Okay. But if you want marriage, then you have to install a new belief system that I am a good woman. I have the right. I have the right character. I can be a good wife. You install those kind of belief in yourself.
So the positive affirmations, I know for some people they don't think much of them.
Yeah.
But how important are these? You know, because they say if you teach your mind or even a child, you teach them something for say 21 days, then it becomes a habit. So is it the same way? And will it actually have tangible results?
Yeah. I can say that for me it has worked. The affirmations really worked. Yeah. And for people, for example, who don't believe that affirmations work, where if they look at their results, are they happy? If they're happy, they're in the top 5%, then it's okay. They will tell them, all right, you don't need the affirmations. Right. Yeah, but if you look at your life and the results are not good, and we are telling you, if you start affirming this aspect to your life, even the universe will respond to you. Opportunities will start showing up, and you still refuse, then you have refused to be stretched to the growth zone. Yeah.
And there are also very many people who are not open to getting help, say from a life coach or even from other people, even advice from other people. Yeah. Like I know a friend of mine who doesn't believe in books, says you can, doesn't motivate yourself.
Yeah.
But now there is a place. There is a place for a life coach, like Sianto. There is a place for books. So how can people just be more open?
Yeah. Now, for that, I don't know, but there is that aspect of knowledge. Knowledge is power. But also knowledge is power plus action. Yeah. So if you're not stretched, if your friend is not willing to be stretched in terms of knowledge acquisition, then her belief, the view of the world that she has is so limited. So she might think that in her world everything is okay, or she's achieving what she's not achieving, what she's achieving, but in reality she has limited her thoughts, she has limited her potential, because she's not willing to learn from people, she's not willing to learn from books, she's not living to learn from a coach, because even actually what I tell my clients is that a coach is actually your GPS. Yeah, the coach, you will tell the coach, this is where I want to go. So the coach will help you, yeah, to have insights on how to get there faster. Yeah, so for example, you're going to Kajiado, instead of if there's traffic, use the expressway.
Right.
So that is the work of the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like that as a society, we are embracing even mental health.
Yeah.
And so just in understanding that if you're a professional as an engineer, then there's someone who's a professional in ensuring that the well-being is good as well.
Yeah.
Because you might not be sick physically, but if you're sick mentally, then you're still a sick person.
Yeah.
So what would be, say, would be your closing remarks for that person who is feeling stuck? And it's a good thing because now the year is ending.
Yeah.
So as you're looking into 2023, then what is the first thing that someone who is stuck can get to do at this point?
Yeah. What they can do, first of all, is to be vulnerable, to accept that I'm a human being, I am stuck, and it is okay, and many people started there. But now you have to move to the next stage of seeking for help. You can look for a life coach. Don't get stuck for 5 years, or look for your own ways of getting to the destination. It's going to take such a long time. So you have to take the next action. You have to make a decision so that you'll be able to get the results that you're looking for. And the coach is going to really help you navigate the journey and navigate the process so that you're able to get to your destination. And really, you'll be happy about it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I believe this is an ending conversation.
Yes.
We'll be able to perhaps have you again next time.
Yes,
For us to
absolutely.
delve even further.
Yes.
And that is our morning conversation. Today we have been talking about overcoming limiting beliefs as well as intentional living with our guest here in studio, Sianto Kikayaya, who is a life coach. And of course, the conversation keeps on going across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Twitter, Lookuptv on Facebook, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. I am Nancy Nalime. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be handing it over back to Simba, who'll be telling us what's happening on the business front. But from us, it's goodbye.